The state rests its case against Steve Nodine, and now it's the defense's turn.
Prosecutors say that Nodine shot and killed his longtime mistress on Mother's Day. The defense maintains that Downs committed suicide.
Fox News reporter April Douglas joining us live from outside the courtroom in Bay Minette. April?
Well, Bob Lanise, the defense called its very first witness in this case. It was Patrick Goff, an employee with the Alabama Department of Forensic Sciences. Now, he testified there was no female blood found in Nodine's truck or on his clothes. As you said, the prosecution did rest its case today, but not before we heard from Angel Downs' family, friends and neighbors. Friends who said that Angel Downs never went to the police about Steve Nodine's behavior because she didn't think the police could help her. Now, neighbors of Angel Downs also took the stand today and testified about hearing a gunshot the night that Angel Downs died on Mother's Day. Neighbors who reported seeing Steve Nodine's truck speeding down the street. Neighbors who comforted Angel Downs as she died. And Charla Canal was walking her dog that night when she heard the shot, and then she went to her neighbors.
I mean, we think we presented sufficient evidence to prove our case.
Of course, that neighbor, she said when she got to her neighbor's house, she said she wasn't sure that she heard a gunshot, but she was worried about Angel. I heard the shot and saw her boyfriend leave, and that boyfriend she was referring to was Steve Nodine. She wasn't the only neighbor who said that she heard the shot and saw Steve Nodine. However, another neighbor said that he heard them at the same time. He heard the shot and saw Steve Nodine about at the same time. Of course, the state says that Steve Nodine killed his longtime mistress, Angel Downs. While the defense maintains this was suicide, they say there were 3 reasons: financial problems she was having. They brought someone on the stand today who testified that Angel Downs that Sunday told them she was having money problems. They also say health problems are a factor, as well as intrapersonal relationship problems, and those are the problems that she was having with Nodine. While Angel's friends maintain she was trying to break it off and had actually started dating someone within the month of her death. Of course, this is a story that generates a lot of talk, a lot of comments. We are constantly updating our Fox 10 webpage as well as Facebook and Twitter. Chastity Bird is helping us out, is doing all the Twitter updates for you, so be sure and check those out. And this is a story generating a lot of talk. At 5 o'clock, you asked the viewers a question about if they heard something like this at their home, what would they do?
That's right, April. We heard from many of her neighbors who said they heard the gunshot and went outside to check things out. Of course, as April just said, the question of the day about this trial: if you heard a gunshot, what would you do? Would you go outside? Let's go ahead and take some of your Facebook comments. And we have one from Craig who says, lock the door and wait for the blue lights to pass by. We have another one from Jennifer Stevens who says, get my gun out for protection, get my kids together while calling the police, praying for God's protection the entire time. One more from Marianne Johnson, I would call the police while checking to make sure everyone in my house is okay. So we've gotten a lot of comments on this. In fact, more than 30. We've had this throughout the week, having these comments, the questions of the day on the Nodine trial. Make sure you go weigh in. We're going to read these comments every day. Of course, if you're just joining us, the prosecution has rested their case in the Steve Nodine murder trial. The defense has started to call its witnesses, and testimony is expected to continue for tomorrow. We're going to continue to send you updates. April's updating Fox10TV.com throughout the day. I'm updating Twitter at Chastity Bird throughout the day as well. We're also sending Facebook updates, so make sure you log on to one of those many ways. And of course, we'll have the latest right here on Fox 10 News at 5 p.m. Court is supposed to resume tomorrow morning at 8:30. Reporting in Bay Minette, Chastity Bird, Fox 10 News.